1100. So this is the first question for Math 1100, but these questions, they are very important even for Math 1120. Is that okay? So the first question I have: used the laws of the algebra of set to simplify the following expression involving sets. The first part is a minus b minus a close the brackets. When we talk about minus, we know that this is same as the complement, so this is going to be a intersection, okay, b minus a complement. Next, this b minus a is also going to be complement. It's going to be a intersection b intersection a complement, like that. So I've changed from this to that. Okay, now the next thing I can do is I can distribute the complement inside, so it will be a intersection open brackets b. The moment this guy comes inside, this changes, it's going to be union. A complement and complement will cancel out. I'll have this. When you have got intersection outside, inside here you have got union. You have got a, and this a is also appearing inside. We use what we call absorption law. You never hear this rule a lecturer teaching you. Absorption law states that when you have got a letter outside, then there is intersection. Inside there is union. Again, the same letter is appearing inside, and inside there is union. Then we use absorption law. A is going to absorb everything inside here, and we end up having A. That's the answer if you want to understand absorption law. If I don't understand this, let me say, I understand. Let me not say if I don't. If you don't understand this, you can use what we call the Venn diagram. After reaching at this point without you using absorption law, this is what you can do. When you reach at this point, you can have a Venn diagram, just a simple Venn diagram. You need to have just two sets because you are dealing with A and B. So I'll have A and B. I'll say that's my A, that's my B. Assign numbers 1, 2, 3 outside the 4. A will be 1, 2. B will be what? Will be 2 and 3. What of A complement? A complement is 2, is 3 and 4. Then we go to B complement. B complement is 1 and 4. When you do this, you know that your A, you can do this. Your A is 1, 2, like that. Intersection. Here you have got B complement union A. You are just adding. So A is 1, 2. Then B complement is 4. I just add 4. The intersection between this and that is 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Now you go back to these guys and check which one is 1 and 2. 1 and 2 is this guy, which is A. Therefore my answer here I'll say is A. Which one is good for you, using a Venn diagram or using absorption law?
Using the Venn diagram for me, I think it's
so you can use any, you can use either absorption law or the Venn diagram. That is just okay. So that is it for the first part. Then if we go to the second part, the second part is a bit complex. That's why it had 3 marks. So you have the square root of A, not the square root, the open brackets, A, B, intersection, then you have A minus B, like that. Once this complement, which is outside, comes inside, this chap will change. What do I mean? I'll have A intersection B, then complement times complement. I'll just say complement. This will change. Then here I'll have A minus B same as A intersection B complement. But because of the complement outside here, I will have another complement. This has only affected this guy because I have not multiplied with the ones inside. I've just left it outside. So these two guys, they'll give me complement and complement will cancel out. I'll have A intersection B like that. Then intersection. Then if I bring A complement inside, it's going to be A complement union. The sign now will change, the symbol will change. B complement times complement, it will be just B like that. Up to this point, are you guys still behind? Okay. Now,
No, sir, it's clear.
when you reach at this point, what you are going to do is, this is A complement union B. Okay? Then here I've got A intersection B. What does it mean? The best thing you can do here, there is an intersection here. So if this is union A complement union B, the numbers which are here, they can also be, okay, let me just do this. Let's just come up with a Venn diagram. I don't want to complicate things here. I don't want to start using the laws which you are not going to understand. I'll have also A and B. Assign numbers. You start. What is my A? My A is 1, 2. What is my B? My B is 2, 3. What is my A complement? My A complement is 3 and 4. What is my B complement? My B complement is 1 and 4. Then you find now what is A intersection B. The numbers which are found both in A and B is 2. Okay? Intersection. A complement union B. A complement is 3, 4. B is 2, 3. Meaning is 2, 3 and 4. Now the intersection between this and that is just 2. Now what is 2? What is 2 here? The 2 we have here.
A intersection B.
A intersection B. So the answer here is A intersection B. Using Venn diagram, believe me, you will never get this question wrong. It's not possible. We're okay? Okay.
Yes.
So that is it for the first part. Now we go to the second part. The equation 4x squared plus 8x minus 1 is equal to 0 has a root alpha and beta. Find the values of alpha to the power 3 times beta plus alpha times beta to the power 3 and alpha to the power 3 times beta times alpha beta to the power 3. Before you solve any question for the nature of the roots, these roots, what you have to do is you need to find the sum and the product. So you need to say alpha plus beta is given by negative b over c over a. Then find now. So alpha plus beta will be equal to negative, my b is 8, my a is 4. Therefore alpha plus beta is negative 2. Before you even solve any question, you also find the product. The product is c over a. So alpha times beta will be c is negative 1, a is 4. So that's the product. Now you can go and start now solving the question. The first question you have is alpha to the power 3 times beta plus alpha beta to the power 3. At this point, believe me, I can just factor out alpha beta because it is common. Alpha times beta, then I will remain with alpha squared plus here beta squared. I have alpha plus beta already as 1 over negative 1 over 4, but I don't have what is inside here. If you are good in mastering, where you see alpha to the power 2 plus alpha beta to the power 2, you can replace it with the formula we are going to drive together right now. So this is what you do. Alpha squared plus beta squared. It can be written as alpha plus beta to the power 2. Now you simplify this. Not simplifying, but you expand this. I have to expand this. What do I mean? Meaning, what I have now is, I want to expand. Allow me to put this part just here. So what I'm going to do, I'm trying to expand alpha plus beta to the power 3. To the power 2, sorry. But remember, we want to find this. So I'll get rid of this. Now I'm trying to expand this. If you're good in mastering, if you're not good in mastering, you need to follow this so that when you see this question, you are going to expand it yourself. Alpha times alpha, alpha squared, alpha times beta, alpha beta. Beta times alpha is alpha beta. Beta times beta is beta squared. So alpha plus beta to the power 2 is equal to, I can say alpha squared plus beta squared. Alpha beta plus alpha beta is 2 alpha beta. Our goal is to make this as a subject of formula. The next thing I'm going to do, I'll shift this to the left hand side. So I'll say alpha plus beta to the power 2 minus 2 alpha beta is equal to alpha squared plus beta squared. Wherever you see alpha squared plus beta squared, you need to be replacing with this always. So it's either you can know how to derive or you can just master it. That is your own business. Is that okay? So if you master to say where there is alpha squared plus beta squared, I'm going to be replacing it always with alpha plus beta squared minus 2 alpha beta. That is your business. If you're not good with mastering, you can know how to derive it from here all the way to that point. Okay? So you know what to do. So what I'm going to do now is, I know that I want to find alpha times beta, which is this one. Open brackets. Where there's alpha squared plus beta squared, I can replace this one by, so let me put a big bracket. I can replace with this squared minus 2 alpha beta. Then I do this. I can now plug in the values because I know that I have everything. Alpha times beta is negative 1 over 4. Alpha plus beta is negative 2. Now we square it. Minus 2 alpha times beta is negative 1 over 4. Like that. So negative 1 over 4. This inside here I'm going to have 4. Negative 2 squared is 4. This you have negative 2 times negative 1 over 4. It is plus 1 over 2. Like that. If we do times negative 1 over 4 times 4 here, I'll get negative 1. Minus here I'm going to get what? 1 over 8. Now I'm trying to simplify this. There is 1 here. The common denominator is 8. 1 into 8, 8 times that one, negative 8 minus 1. What answer are you getting? Is that okay? Or maybe we have made mistake somewhere. For those who are following, are we together?
Yes.
So this part here is going to give us negative what? Negative 9 over 8. This is my answer for the first part. Okay, for this one. But again, the question is also saying we need to find, so I'll say alpha to the power 3 beta plus alpha beta to the power 3 is equal to neg 9 over 8. Another question is find f alpha to the power 3 times beta, like that, then times alpha beta to the power 3. This is direct. You just say alpha this time that, it's going to be alpha to the power 4, this time that, beta to the power 4. This is the same as alpha times beta to the power 4. So what is alpha times beta? Alpha times beta is negative 1 over 4 to the power 4. Negative 1 to the power 4 is 1. 4 to the power 4 is 256. Meaning for that guy, this is my answer. So I'll come here and say my alpha to the power 3 times beta times alpha beta to the power 3, like that, is equal to 1 over 256. That is the 6 marks you see here. We are done with the 6 marks part. Any question? Do you happen to have questions? Hello?
No, sir, no questions.
We are okay?
Yes, we're okay.
No, no, no. We are here. We are on part 1, not part 2. We're talking about this. We need to add that and that. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. For that and you are talking about is the second question. So this one, they want us to find the values of. We find this. This is more like the sum. This is the product. But in a case where they ask you, like the second question where he's saying, if they are to ask you to say find the value of x, alpha to the power 3 beta and alpha beta, then we would have said we need first to add this, like that. Then again we need to find the product, like the way. So like for the second question, it's the same as the first question, only that the difference is the first question we have been told what to find direct. But in a case where they just give you one thing, they will not even put any sign. They'll just say find the values of alpha and beta. That's when you say you find the value of alpha plus beta alone. Again, you find the value of alpha times beta. You get it? Okay, so let's go now to the equation part. So the equation part, just a minute. So the equation part here now is the question is find the equation whose roots is. That's why this question had only 2 marks, because they know that you have found the answer already. So the equation of the root is given by this formula: x squared minus alpha plus beta to the power x times x plus alpha times beta, whose roots is alpha to the power 3 and alpha to the power, or alpha to the power 3 times beta, is the same as they're asking you to say whose roots are this. You need to find this and also you need to find that. The reason why this question had 2 marks is because they knew to say what you are going to plug in the values is the ones you have found already. So for this one I have already, which is -9. So I'll just go ahead and plug in the values. So the one for plus is this one. The one for times, for multiplication, is this one. So I'll say x to the power 2 minus alpha. The sum is -9 over 8 x plus the product is 1 over 56. This is equal to 0. Sorry, 256 is equal to 0. I can simplify this and say x squared minus or plus negative and negative will give me plus 9 over 8 x, then plus 1 over 56. 256 is equal to 0. To make this equation to make sense, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do times 256 to get rid of the fraction. So I'll do times 256 everywhere. I'm not going to do times 8 because if I do times 8 I'll still remain with the fraction here. I want to get rid of the fraction. 256 times x squared is 256 x squared. Then 8 into 256. What is 8 into 256? Hey, 256 into 8. 8 into 256 is 32. So you do 32 times 9. 32 times 9 is 288. So I'll say plus 288x plus 256 times 1 over 256 is 1 is equal to 0. This is the equation they were looking for. So this had 2 marks because it was just direct. Unless you have questions. Yes, please.
How about if you just leave it with a fraction like that? Is it wrong?
It's not, but okay, it's not wrong. You can leave it like that.
Alright,
In fact, in that way, meaning you are even saving time, right?
sure.
So you can end there. If you want to show off, you can end there. But is there showing off pass up? Just end here, right? It's okay. Do you guys know that if you get 90%, the grade which you are going to be given is just P?
B, how?
Not B, P.
Oh, what's that now?
What does P mean? Pass.
Yes, it means pass. So the way it is SAP, when you clear SAP, where there is math, is going to show P. Then when you fail, it's going to be F. P means pass. F means fail. So even if you get someone who is going to get a 40% and someone who's going to get 98%, they all have P.
Are they going to add CA?
Most they don't add CA for SAP. Let me not say most, but they don't add CA for SAP. You get 40 is 40.
So it's just the whole paper is out of
100,
100%.
yes, 100%, yes. But sometimes, let me tell you this, sometimes they do add. It just depends with what they are going to think. Okay, let's add the CA. Sometimes they'll be like, no, let's just forget about the CA. So it depends. Hmm? Yep. So now you need to understand this. But when you find a chance, just get everything. Eh? Even if the P is going to appear, just get everything. It's okay. Okay. C. Given that the square root of 2 is irrational, show that the square root of 2 plus 3 is irrational. Such kind of questions sometimes, let me tell you this, it's better if you don't understand, especially for this part. Let me give you the hint. If you don't understand how to prove irrational, just master it. It's the same procedure, but they will never give you the same thing. This question will always come, whether you like it or you don't like it. This question, you find it. Prove that they'll give you, maybe prove, given that the square root of 3 is irrational, prove that the square root of 3 maybe plus 2 is irrational. The same steps, even if you don't understand, better just master it as if it's history. For the first time mastering math, it is going to help you and you are going to get all the marks. But if you want to understand, I can make you understand this question. How? So there we go. Proving that something is irrational, you can't prove it direct. We prove by using the method what we call contradiction. Why am I saying contradiction? I know rational. I know how I can express rational, but I don't know how I can express irrational. Okay? So we always assume. We assume that you have cleared SAP, then you go in second year. You get my point, right? For you to go in second year, you have to clear SAP, especially for those who are doing programs from Ridgeway campus. So you assume that if I clear SAP, I'm going to go in second year. If I fail SAP, I'm not going to go in second year. So we are going to assume. If we assume that you clear, definitely, when you're just assuming to say, okay, I've cleared SAP, let's assume that you have cleared SAP. Definitely, you'll be picturing yourself, say, oh, now I'm at Ridgeway, I'm looking for accommodation. Okay? So we are going to assume that this guy is rational. So we know already, when we're talking about rational, we know what we're talking about. Okay? When we're talking about rational, if we assume that this is rational, then we know that rational can be written in form of a over b, where b is not equal to 0. So you say, assume that the square root of 2 plus 3 is rational. Then it can be written in form of, or it can be written as a over b. You do comma where b is not equal to 0. Okay? A and b have no common factors. And they are integers. What does it mean? For you to conclude that something is rational, for example, 2 over 3 is rational. How? There is no common factor. There is no number which can go into 2 and 3 to reduce this. At the same time, this is not equal to 0. And these are integers. It can be negative or positive. That's just okay. We're not interested in that. So, this is rational. And this we are saying a over b, where b should not be equal to 0. So, you can't prove irrational direct, but you have to change it to say, okay, let's assume that this is irrational. So if this is rational, then it can be written in form of a over b, where b is not equal to 0. A and b have no common factors, and they are integers. That is what we need to know. So if these guys are integers, what next are we supposed to know? Okay, so we know that a over b is rational. Then I'm going to equate now this to what? to a over b. I'm going to say the square root of 2 plus 3 is equal to, since we have assumed that this is rational, then I'm going to equate to a over b. Now I need to make the square root of 2 as a subject of memory, because I've been told already that the square root of 2 is irrational. So I'll shift 3 to the other side. Okay, it's going to be the root of 2 is equal to a over b minus 3. I can find the common denominator. I'll say the root of 2 is equal to, I find the common denominator here is the b, not 3. Here there's 1, it's b. Okay, b into b is 1. 1 times a is a, minus 1 into b is b. B times that one is 3b. I want you to see what's happening. Now I have the square root of 2 is equal to a minus 3b divided by b. Do we have common factors here? When I mean common factors is if I have a, if maybe I have this, if I have 2a minus 2b, or let me say 2a again, let me just put b, then I divide this by, or if I have a, then also here I also have a, or maybe 2a. I can see that these can be cancelled, meaning I've got a common factor. But in this case I don't have any common factor, because I have a minus 3b over b. I have no common factor here. If I have got no common factor, the moment you conclude that you have got no, it's just going to be like that. This will always have no common factor. So if this has got no common factor, then you know that something which doesn't have common factor is rational. So definitely this guy is my rational. So if this is rational, and I've been told that given that the root of 2 is irrational, and I know that this is irrational. So if this is irrational and that is rational, irrational can never be equal to rational. So the next statement you say, you write it like this. Let me show you. You say a minus 23b over b has no common factors. So or you can even say, so this is rational. Full stop. Another statement, the last one, since the square root of 2 is irrational, and irrational can never be equal to rational. Irrational cannot be equal to rational. Hence, proved by contradiction. Proved by contradiction. This question, no matter how different question is going to come, as long as it's the same thing, nothing will change. The same statements, you follow the same principle. That's why I was telling you to say, if you want to understand, you can understand. If you don't want to understand, you can master it. Is that okay? So now we have proved that the square root of 2 plus 3 is irrational. We have proved by using contradiction. As simple as that. Unless you have got questions for proving. Do you have questions? Yes, please.
So meaning if we are not told that the square root of 2 is irrational, we have to make it irrational, right?
If you have not been told that the square root of 2 is irrational, no, initially if you have not been told that square root of 2 is irrational, when you have been just given this, but the chances that they can only give you this is just 0.5%. 98 99.5% is that they can tell you to say the square root of 2 is irrational. But yes, they can. You need just to make like the same method we have been doing, the same procedure. You just make the square root of 2 as a subject of formula. That's all. Which in short is just the same principle.
All right.
Sure. Can we go to part 2? So this is the reason why I was telling you to say this paper for 1100 is very important for someone who is doing 1120 to really understand this, because that paper, it wasn't fair. 80% was just calculus. It has never happened in the history. Calculus to start from question 2 all the way to question 7. It has never happened. I don't know, maybe they were thinking to say you guys were not attending classes and they wanted to punish you. Anyway, yes. Yes, the one who has just raised the hand. Okay, so let's now do the last one, which is this part here. So express 0.0810 as a fraction in form of p over q, and p where p and q are integers. So what will be your conclusion here before we even solve? Is this rational or irrational from what I've explained? Hmm? Yes,
Rational.
it's rational because it can be expressed in form of p over q where p and q are integers. Okay, so you express it, and we know that rational, it has got no common factors. So you reach at a stage where it will have no common factors. So let's start. You first have to shift this 0 to a point where the bar is starting from. I have 0.0810. The bar is ending there. You push this to a point where the bar is starting from. So I'll say, I'll put it there. So I've just moved one step. So it is 10x to be equal to 0.810 bar. Next, I'll move now from the original one all the way to 1, 2, 3, 4, where the bar is ending again outside, which is going to be, I've moved 4 steps, meaning it is, I need to add the 4 zeros, which is 10,000 x to be equal to this 10,000. So now I've just done a 10,000 there. So what is happening here is this now has been shifted all the way to that point, meaning it is now 8, okay, it's 810 point. Again, I'll repeat this, okay, it will have 810, then I put a bar again. So I need to do minus. What do I mean? I'll put the 10,000 on top is equal to 810.810 bar. Then here it is 10x. I'll put what? 0.8110 bar. I do minus. If I do minus here, everything here is going to give me 0. Okay? Which I don't mind. I'll just leave it there. 0 minus 0 here, I'll get what? 0. 1, 8 is equal to, here, if I do 10,000 minus 10, is 900 and 900 or 9,000? 9,990. 9,990x. I divide both sides by 9990, both sides by 9990. So these will cancel. X will be equal to 810 divided by 99990. At this point, I can cancel the 0. This 0 and that 0 goes. Okay? So X will be equal to 81999, like that. But again, there is a number which can go. Remember, it has to be expressed in a form of P over Q, where these two have got no common factor. So if I leave it here, this is wrong, because there's a number which can go into 81 and there's a number which can go into 999. 9 can go into 81. It goes 9 times. 9 into 9 is to be 111. As simple as that. Again, is there any number which can go into 9 and 111? Yes, I think there is. And that number is 3. 3 there, 3. 3 into 11. 3 into 11 is 3, right? Remainder 2. 3 into 21, 7. There is no number which can go into these 3 and D. So now it has been expressed in a form of P over Q, where these are integers and they've got no common factor. 3 over this. That is my answer. Any question? Do you have any question? Any question? So we have expressed this in form of P over Q, where P has got no common factors. So this is what I had for you today for question 1. If I find time again in the afternoon or in the evening, we are going to do question 2. So for now, we end there.